So I've said this a lot, and a lot of people have too, that this country's gone to hell, and it's the simple facts of the matter it is, because in every section of society, literally every section, I go through some of it here, but when you look around you in Ireland, it is literally gone to hell, and we've let it gone to hell because, sadly, and again, we're all human. Let's be fair, we are all human. A lot of us were too afraid to stand up for our country. A lot of us were too afraid to speak out, to say something, to stand up from the narrative. But it needs to be done. It really, really needs to do it. If we look around at the moment, people can't walk the streets of Ireland safely. We've seen last night a feature on Crime Cop that a random woman was walking the streets and a man came up to her and broke her jaw pretty much. And this is a common occurrence, unfortunately, now. And we've seen a Canadian tourist killed in Dublin. He said the person that killed him, 5.5 years. That's all his life was worth, 5.5 years. And around the country, people are afraid of their life to walk down the street in Ireland, not in North Korea, in Ireland, just to say, in 2026. Now, when I was younger, I could walk the country and it wouldn't be bothered. So, what has happened in this country for that? And then we look at the HSE. Where do we start? Where do we go? Because look at the National Children's Hospital, look at the waiting list, look at the CAMS crisis in Kerry, look at it around the country, look at the mental health crisis. And then we go to transport, we go to other stuff, we go to many other things. We could be here housing. We'll be here all day. This country's gone to hell, and let's put it that way. It's gone to hell, and it's up to us, because the only way we're going to get it back from hell, if we stand up, because clearly this government hasn't got the Irish people in mind. Clearly they solve another power compared to the Irish people. They don't solve the Irish people. A lot of them are selected, not elected, unfortunately. And this is the thing, that we need them to be caring for the Irish people. We need them to be accountable. Because again, there's no accountability in this country. This country is gone to hell because there's nobody ever accountable. When there is a mistake done, if somebody does a genuine mistake, fair enough. If it's genuine and they do apologise and they have remorse, etc., we will show a bit of empathy and mercy for that. But there's politicians like Phil Hogan and stuff like that you're getting another big job in Europe, and after all his shenanigans he's done, and not to mention other people, Simon Harris, take for example, with the cervical check controversy, and God forbid all the women too, because he was Minister for Health at the time too, that when that happened, and of course the scoliosis too, like the list goes on, and the only thing Irish people can say, oh, what about it? That's what's said. But I say to people, our children, if this is hell at the moment, I hate to see what's going to be the next 20 years. I hate to see what's going to be the next 30 years. And I ask you, and if everybody watching this video, regardless of what your view is, we have to fight for our country. We have to speak up for our country. Because this country has gone to hell and we have to take it back from hell. Because our children, if this is hell, what's our children going to put up with? What is our children going to put up with? Because let's be fair, it is gone to hell. Nothing in this country works. It only works for a small group of individuals that are in Dáil and Shannon and in the European Parliament and in Davos, in the World Economic Forum. They're the only people who benefit from this. And a few other people that come in and out of the country now and again. But this is like, let's be fair, we have to start speaking up. And I'm going to use a lot more vulgar language because, let's be fair, the Irish state is an enemy of the people of Ireland. And there's no doubt about it. Because it's not all... This couldn't be... If this is incompetence, then this is the height of incompetence. This should get the world record of incompetence. But this seems to be all nearly by design, to be totally honest, this country, the way this country is going. It's all about destroying the soul of a nation. We've seen this even recently, over the last few years, the attack on the family. It used to be a core value of the Irish people, the Irish nation, that you have children, etc., etc. Nowadays we see this an attack on children, attack on everything, because they want to get rid of the soul, the very foundation of what this country is. And that's the sad reality. It is the truth. And that's why I say it's gone to hell too, because they want to make it soulless. They want to have no soul. They want to have no meaning. They want to just make it total, satanic, to be generally honest. That's what it is. It's satanic, what their plans and what they've done to this country, this government, and what they represent in the nicest possible, because they don't serve you or me. They serve another cause, and that's the worrying part. But we know who they serve. But this is the thing I say to people, because it isn't hell. There's no other way, because there's no reform in this system. The system that's at the moment, there's no reform in it. The only way you're going to reform it is by knocking the whole lot down. That's to be gendered. Knocking the whole rotten system down, because one kick to the system, the whole rotten structure comes crawling down. Because the system is just so rotten with greed, and that's the main thing. It's greed and corruption and stuff. It's just total greed. It's insatiable greed. they always want more and more and more, and it just keeps going and going and going. And there's just no stop to it, and unless you kick the whole system down. And how you do that is just tear the whole lot of it down. That's to be generally honest with you. We build the whole civil service, we build the whole public service because the whole lot of it's just gone to hell. The same as the country, the whole government departments are gone to hell, the whole local authority departments are gone to hell. Because unfortunately we let them go to hell. The people let them go to hell. Because we keep electing these people, like in Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael, the majority in Dáil Éireann and Shannon Éireann, that are too worried about their paycheck, about getting their money at the end of the week, than they are about fighting for the Irish people, because they're too afraid to speak out, and especially the people in parties, Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael, they're just absolutely fucking mortified to say boo against their party leaders because they'll lose their position or they'll lose their job and the party and stuff like that. To hell and Connacht about it, because, and even the independents too, and even I'm guilty myself, we should have spoke up a lot more, because this country's gone to hell, and only by speaking up and by fighting for this country that we're going to get it back, because it has to be taken back. It really, really has to be taken back, because we won't let them. We won't let them do what they are doing to this country. We won't let them off with it much longer, and I suppose that we can't let them off with it, because there will be nothing left in this country to stand on. There'll be literally nothing left, because the list, I could name off a billion more things, but it's just insatiable greed. And we have to take this country back from hell. We have to do it. And how we do that too, we have to make sure the government suffer as much as they can and undermine the state at every possible turn, because that's the only way is to reject the state, because that's the only way to do it, is to reject the state, to reject the power of the state, because the state too is what's more and more power. Every week we hear, oh, they want new legislation for this, they want new legislation for that, they want to do this, they want to do that, they want this legislation, they want that legislation. And it's just more power, more this, more that, more that. It's just more. And as I said about greed, it's just more. They just constantly want more. They're not happy with the legislation that they have, that they can't even enforce. They want more power to restrict your freedom, restrict this, restrict that, restrict the other. And that's what it's all about. It's all about power, and it's all about money. And that's really what it is nowadays. Years ago, we used to have politicians in this country, civil servants too, that cared for the very foundation of this country, the very soul of this country. It wasn't to do with money. They didn't give a damn about money. And that's the thing about me. I don't give a damn about money. I want this country to survive. I want this country to thrive. The Irish people to thrive. I want the young people to thrive. And unfortunately, they're not. They should be. This is one of the richest countries in the world that is robbing people blind. We're taking all their money, and money goes into the black hole, basically. And young people should be thriving. Everybody should be thriving. This country should be bussing. People should be literally living the life of the O'Reillys. Like, people should literally be living the life of the O'Reillys. That's what they should be doing. But unfortunately, we see so much suffering. Not many people are living the life of O'Reilly. Only the people that are selected, not elected, to live the life of O'Reilly, unfortunately. Not the working person that gets up early in the morning to go to work and stuff. They're not living the life of O'Reilly. They're living the enemy of O'Reilly, pretty much. Because there's no doubt about it, even speaking about the O'Reillys and stuff, there's no doubt about they would treat their subjects like this, take for example. The old kingdoms, like for example, the kingdom of Breffni back years ago, the kingdom of Mead, etc. There's no way the high kings of Ireland, the high kings of them, would treat the people like that. Like, let's be fair, they wouldn't do it. But again, this government don't care for Irish people. They don't care for the soul of this country. They want to take the soul out of it. They've tried every way. We see with a few years ago with Charlie Flanagan and of course Leo Varadkar, they wanted to bring back the black and tans, and that, if that tells you, that should tell you pretty much everything about Fine Gael, because it's utterly ridiculous that any country would say, let's bring back the people that genocided us. Let's do that. Let's celebrate that. Like, I don't know about you, but I think that's mentally disturbed to these people to say such a thing like that. Let's celebrate this. That's literally what they said. Like, it's absolutely insane. And then they were upset when people argued about it. It was ludicrous, like a madness. And that tells you everything about Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil. This tells you everything about modern Ireland. That what's happened. This is this. It's just ridiculous. But I say to people, always speak out. Never be afraid. Don't be afraid. At the end of the day, we only are here on a holiday, but we owe it to ourselves, we owe it to our children, we owe it to our grandparents that had to fight for this country, we owe it to them that we do our best. And again, we can only do our best, we are only human individuals, to speak out in our own way, whatever way it is. If it's the smallest way, speak out, be counted. Because that's important. because for too long I think, and I was guilty of this too for myself, but for not speaking out, for not reading the writing on the wall, for not reading the room, is what you could say. But unfortunately, I've read the room now, and it's not looking good for the government in terms of that. But we have to do everything. That's what I'm trying to say, because this country is in hell, and I think nobody can disagree with that. That society is just totally messed up. The whole society, everything in this country is messed up to hell.